All right, I'm coming to you with a new concept today that we're going to need to know to move forward in how we lay things out on the screen. And in order to do that, I've got a totally different page set up for us to be able to visualize some of the changes that this specific property, the position property, does to elements. So let's look at how this page is set up, and we'll jump in here to our HTML. So I have a position.html and a position.css, and that's linked up here. And I have three divs on the screen. So divs stand for divider. And by default, there's nothing in a div. They're really just containers for other elements. And they don't have a size, but I've added some classes on here so that we can actually see them. So they have a box class, and then each one has a different color class that I created, red, green, and blue. So in the CSS, the box class has a height of 100 pixels and a width of 100 pixels. And then the color classes just set the background color to red, green, or blue. And I just did this so that we could visualize what's going on with this position property. So right now we can see on the screen that all of these blocks are stacked on top of each other. And like we talked about with the display property block, they take up their own line and then they stack like blocks. Well, that's true as long as the default positioning property is set. And right now that is the case where they are all positioned statically. Static is the default positioning property value for every element. And if we wanted to change that, we can do that just by setting the property on the element itself. So I'm going to click on one of these boxes here, and I'm going to change the positioning property of the red box to be absolute. Now when I do that, what you're going to see is that we lose the green box. Now we haven't really lost the green box, it's not gone, it's just behind the red box. So what happens is whenever we change the positioning to absolute, it gets pulled out of the normal flow of the page as if it's not there. So right now the red box is there, you can see it, the green box is still there too, but it's moved up into the top flow of the page. And the blue box is actually respecting the fact that the green box is above it. So if we wanted to see this, we can actually, whenever we set these things to be absolutely positioned, we can move them around on the screen anywhere. So I can set a property called right, or a property called right or left. I'm going to do left, and I can do 100 pixels, and it's going to move that box over 100 pixels, like we can see right there. And now we see the green box in behind it. And I can also move it down by setting the top property to 100 pixels. So we can see now that this red box is just moving around freely based on where we position it with the left and top properties. There's also right and bottom that we could use as well. We'll get into those later. But the other boxes are acting as if the red box isn't even there on the screen at all. In fact, I could come in here in the HTML and just delete it, and nothing happens to the blue and green boxes. They're acting exactly the same as if the red box was position absolute. So the key thing to understand about position absolute is that it pulls it out of the normal flow of the page, and other elements just act like it's not there as far as how they flow. Now we're going to be going over position over the next couple videos. I just wanted to get that first step out of the way, and when we come back we'll talk about position relative and how it affects absolute and some other different ways that we can position things. So stick with it. This concept is very important, but we're going to get through it, and then we'll be able to pull all of these things together to really start to lay out our pages the way we want them to work. So see you in the next video.